Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
Yeah, we should always preserve artwork. Yeah, because it will be used in future generations to tell a story of the past.
We don't really blame those that don't appreciate art. You have to have conquered, food as a problem to be able to appreciate things like luxurious things. Most of us, we live a life of survival. It starts from building ourselves as a nation first before we can actually appreciate art.
Art is no doubt a benchmark for nation building, a great assurance to sustainable growth, especially with the strings of creative expressions all around the country. If only we can look within and let every art piece we set our eyes on speak to our minds and body, then art appreciation will become more valuable.
Appeal court discharges terrorism charges against Nnamdi Kanu.
Nigeria has continued to deploy significant resources towards tackling piracy in the Gulf of Guinea.
President Buhari rallies member states of Gulf of Guinea on security.
They try to amend the UBEC law now and how to take back those facilities if they are not put into use within 6 months of handover.
House of Representatives describes UBEC Amendment Act as urgent national priority.
The situation is still terrible. People are suffering.
We're going to see more floods. And now the rains is concentrating on the north central and the southern states.
Also tonight, flood displaces over 790,000 in 31 states as death toll reaches 500. Good evening. This is NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stober. Hingino John Adams is in Lagos and will join us with news from their axis in the course of this broadcast. And you can follow us live on our website nta.ng/live and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has discharged the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, from the remaining 7 counts against him. The 3-man panel of justices of the court, led by Justice Jummai Sankey, gave the order in a unanimous judgment in Abuja. Delia Tumbi of our Judiciary Desk reports.
On the 27th of June 2021, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, was rendered to Nigeria to stand his trial on alleged terrorism acts. In the case between the Federal Republic of Nigeria against Nnamdi Kanu, the prosecution preferred 15 counts against Nnamdi Kanu. In the preliminary objection by the defendant at the trial court, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja quashed 8 counts and sustained 7 counts for trial. The appellant counsel in the matter, Mike Ozokome, SAN, generated 5 issues for determination. In the appeal, the appellate court determined issues 1 and 4 in favor of the appellant. The court equally resolved issues 2, 3 and 5 in favor of the respondent. However, issue 1, which has to do with the jurisdiction of the court based on the manner of the rendition of the appellant, headed the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Due to the manner in which the appellant was rendered from Kenya to Nigeria, denied the trial court of the jurisdiction. With the lack of jurisdiction, the appeal court struck out all the remaining 7 counts against Nnamdi Kanu.
Nigeria operates democracy, which gives vent to the rule of law and its concomitant adherences. Today, we saw the potency of the law.
The appeal court maintained that the rule of law must always be followed in the way or manner a defendant is brought before the court. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Member states of the Gulf of Guinea Commission have been tasked to urgently galvanize action against the danger and threat affecting maritime security in the region. President Muhammadu Buhari threw the challenge at a virtual summit of the heads of state and government of the Gulf of Guinea. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
The Gulf of Guinea Commission has, amongst other objectives, creating conditions of mutual confidence towards defending the common interests of member states, as well as promoting peace and socio-economic development on the basis of dialogue, consensus, ties of friendship, solidarity and fraternity. This summit was convened by President Muhammadu Buhari as outgoing chairman of the heads of state and government of the Gulf of Guinea member states to review progress made in their efforts to deal appropriately with maritime challenges in the region.
Nigeria considers the effective functioning of the Gulf of Guinea Commission as strategic to the collective security interests in the Gulf region, particularly in addressing issues such as piracy, proliferation of small arms and light weapons, protection of marine resources, as well as irregular migration to the region.
The federal government, the president said, has championed several efforts towards fighting maritime insecurity in the Gulf of Guinea.
Nigeria has continued to deploy significant resources towards tackling piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. Through the Deep Blue Project, in June 2021, the government of Nigeria unveiled $195 million United States worth of boats, vehicles, and aircraft to spearhead the country's fight against piracy in the Gulf of Guinea.
President Buhari, however, identified the COVID-19 pandemic and its attendant negative impact on the activities of the Gulf of Guinea Commission, as well as inadequate cash flow, as major challenges that confronted efforts at fighting maritime insecurity in 2020 and early 2021.
What we need now is to work more than ever towards the revitalization of the organization with a view to synergizing for more effective results towards fighting maritime insecurity in the Gulf of Guinea Commission region.
The president told participants that the summit will be the last he will be attending as head of state, but made a case for member states to remit their outstanding annual contributions to the Gulf of Guinea Commission Secretariat to assist the Commission in fulfilling its mandate. President Nana Akufo-Addo of the Republic of Ghana emerged the new chairman, heads of state and government of the Gulf of Guinea region at the end of the summit. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The House of Representatives says amending the Universal Basic Education Act has become necessary, going by the lack of accountability by some states in the implementation of the policy. This came to the fore at a public hearing by the House Committee on Basic Education. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The engagement with stakeholders from various agencies saddled with the responsibility of meeting the needs of basic education in Nigeria provided a platform to speak to the issues affecting the scheme in some states of the Federation.
UBEC has built fantastic structures in some states that have been abandoned. There's one in my state, 14 buildings, rats, rain, fire, It was handed over to the state governor over 5 years ago. There's one in Kogi also. So there has to be, we have tried to amend the UBEC law now on how to take back those facilities if they are not put into use within 6 months of handover.
The bill seeking establishment of a commission for secondary education is among those that got stakeholder input as the public hearing.
Tertiary education has a parent being pet fund, but senior secondary education has always been an orphan, which is why we think that the Senior Secondary Education Commission is long overdue.
Another area of attention which the committee is working at amending is the Act on Vocational Education.
We already, realize the importance of vocational training, In fact, even the National Policy on Education does not make it compulsory for every child moving from primary to go to junior secondary school. No.
The lawmakers stress that there has to be a turnaround of policy direction and targets at all levels for Nigeria to achieve aspirations. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Buhari is leading the charge for increased collaboration among women leaders in the continent, pledging to render her support to noble causes that promote the health and nutrition of women and children in countries like Burundi. The First Lady stated this while addressing a high-level forum of women leaders in Africa taking place in Bujumbura, Burundi, under the auspices of the Burundian First Lady in collaboration with development partners. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
As the conference of the high-level African women progresses, participants comprising the first and the present African First Ladies, as well as various women groups in Burundi and across the continent, have engaged in series of discussions to cross-fertilize ideas towards enhancing the general well-being of women and children under the support of government of the Republic of Burundi, headed by President Evariste Ndayishimiye and other development partners. Given the theme of the conference, Health and Nutrition of Women and Children, the First Lady of Nigeria commended the resilience of the First Lady of Burundi for her giant strides towards fighting malnutrition, especially in children under the age of 5.
We engage them to be committed by championing the cause of maternal, newborn, child, adolescent health plus nutrition in their respective states. We have given out foodstuff, medications, antenatal kits, free medical missions, skill acquisition programs, to mention a few. This is why I'm happy to be here in Burundi in person to support and encourage my dear sister, also my Vice President of MIPREDEN, and to share ideas on how we can continue to impact on the lives of our people. Through meaningful collaborations and networking, we can achieve the goals of eradicating malnutrition in our societies.
The First Lady and the President of the Africa First Ladies Space Mission used their occasion to donate made in Nigeria nutritional products to support the malnourished children in Burundi. The First Lady of Burundi, who acknowledged the contribution of Mrs. Buhari, promised to remain steadfast in her advocacy towards improving maternal health not only in Burundi but across the continent. In Bujumbura, Burundi, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Better times appear to be in the offing for large businesses as well as those which fall within the bracket of micro, small, medium enterprises, courtesy of a €1 billion guaranteed senior loan facility by the Bank of Industry. Bosade Abel reports that the facility, like previous ones, will be deployed for medium to long-term finance to enterprises with bankable transactions at affordable Naira interest rates.
Small and medium-sized enterprises (SMEs) play significant roles in shaping the growth, innovation and sustainability of local, regional and global economies. The World Trade Organization (WTO) says SMEs represent over 90% of the business population, 60 to 70% of employment and 55% of GDP in developed economies. To this end, the Bank of Industry is strategizing to further strengthen young and upcoming entrepreneurs by creating an enabling environment for small and medium-sized enterprises to thrive. Managing Director of the institution, Olukayode Pitan, says in the last 5 years, the bank has focused on economic expansion, which also translates to growing its asset base to over 2 trillion naira. The bank has to date supported over 4,234,670 enterprises across various sectors of the economy and in the process created over 9 million jobs.
Between 2018 and to date, we have brought in over $5 billion into this country. And therefore, we have funds to give to SMEs, we have funds to give to large enterprises. If you don't have funds, you can only speak English.
As the African Continental Free Trade Area (AFCFTA) continues to be focused in terms of intra-African trades, speakers at this forum believe the BOI initiative is apt for economic recovery and growth in Nigeria.
They are doing the right thing. We encourage them to go down so that a lot more will benefit from their programs.
Being one of the oldest and largest development finance institutions in Nigeria, the Bank of Industry says it remains committed to supporting SMEs and in turn engender considerable multiplier effects to enhance Nigeria's social and economic condition. In Abuja, Boss Sede Ebo, NTA News.
And time for a first break. The news continues shortly.
Nothing should divide us. Nothing can divide us. And absolutely nothing will divide us. In our togetherness lies our strength. Our diverse nature beautifies us. Yes, we may not agree socially, politically, and culturally. Not even our ideological, religious, or ethnic differences lead to bloodshed. Let us draw a leaf from the painful reality of our recent history and give dialogue and negotiation a chance. Let us support our gallant men and women of the armed forces, symbol of our national unity. One people we are, have been, and always will be. Nigeria is my country, your country, our country. Let us keep her together in peace and unity.
3 days ago, through the instrumentality of the National Industrial Court, Dr. Musa Mohammed Metakobi became the National President of Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, RITIAN. Under his leadership, RITIAN House has been acquired, the first since 1978. RITIAN CNG LNG buses introduced with the activation of ties for the comfort and safety of commuters, respectively. RITIAN is now an affiliate of TUC, while RITIAN Marshall has been flagged off for security in our parks. Members' welfare has been improved, comfort of commuters prioritized, and partnership with relevant government agencies solidified. Indeed, it's been 730 days of stability, unity and progress anchored on maturity, with Dr. Musa Mohammed Metakobi, the Executive National President and our visionary leader, as the pilot. Mr. President, we are proud of the transformation you brought to RITIAN, and we pledge our support always. Uproad Super!
Afe Babalola University Ado-Ekiti Airport holds 12th anniversary and 10th unbroken convocation ceremony. 14th to 19th October 2022, various convocation programs. 28th October, 10 a.m. Convocation lecture, The Place of Education in the Crisis Reading Nigeria by Chief Mike Ozekome, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. 7 p.m. Founders Day Dinner and Awards Night. 21st October, Convocation Grand Finale, Awards of PGD, Bachelor's, Master's, PhD, and Honorary degrees on His Royal Highness Shehu of Borno, Alhaji Abubakar Umar Garba El Kanemi, Chief Mike Ozekome, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and His Excellency Chief Shegun Oni, former Ekiti State Governor. Abuja 2022 Convocation Celebration of Afe Babalola University, #1 in Nigeria, 321 in the world. Upward, a vision in action.
If today we say that the number of police officers, hypothetically, the ones we have, are not enough, and we want to expand the police force, for example, by 100,000 more police officers, we cannot fund it if we don't have enough taxes to expand the size of the police. It has always been said by some of that maybe we have few number of police officers per 1,000 Nigerians. Our ratio is low based on statistics globally. Now, if we want to increase by just 100,000, that will require at least an additional expenditure of about 200 billion naira a year. So it's very, very important that we pay our taxes, because that way we can ensure that we get the security that we all crave.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like you. How did I do? You did great. A couple of years ago is when his acting began.
Think you can play?
Yes. I take him to audition and give him Frisco, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor. You got the role! Give your kids Frisco to support their big dreams. Frisco, power your dream.
Thanks for staying with us. The World Bank says rising oil prices are hurting Nigeria's income due to subsidy payments on petrol. Leah Katumba Batunde, who's covering the 2022 annual meetings, reports that both the World Bank and the IMF expressed commitments to help Nigeria navigate its way out of economic difficulties facing the global economy.
The annual meetings peaked actually this Thursday in Washington, D.C. Now the probability of a global recession is clear, but what is yet to be clear is how to navigate the waters of the coming recession and perhaps the terrain to avoid or insulate the global economy from shocks. The focus here for today is on debt and, of course, the environment. Kristalina Georgieva of the IMF and David Malpass of the World Bank have been speaking on their agenda for the global economy at the annual meetings. They took time to emphasize commitments made so far.
Do encourage our members not to hesitate. If you think that you need a buffer, we are here for you. And that particularly applies to the innocent bystanders, countries with strong fundamentals hit by exogenous shocks. We have precautionary lending facilities for you.
In the coming days, the World Bank says it will be discussing with the IMF particularly about Nigeria's debt sustainability plan, capital flows, and the entire policy thrust of the country.
The increase in the oil prices that occurred earlier this year actually ended up hurting the finances of Nigeria because of that large subsidy that's provided. The World Bank works very closely with the IMF on debt situations. Nigeria has not asked for the common framework under the G20 process. That process has been slow acting in Chad and Ethiopia and Zambia, but Nigeria it hasn't gone that route.
Growth projections have been cut from 3% to 1.9% for the World Bank. The fifth wave of debt crisis is facing the developing world. Food security stemming from the crisis in Russia and Ukraine has also registered commitments. In Washington, D.C., I'm Leah Katimbaba today, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria has signed a memorandum of understanding with Microsoft that will see 5 million of its citizens gain digital skills. And where best to seal the deal than at the largest tech exhibition in the world, holding in Dubai, United Arab Emirates.
The T's crossed, I's dotted, and the deal is sealed. Under this deal, categorized into 10 initiatives, 1 million job seekers will train on latest digital skills in high demand by organizations. 2 million talent will be engaged on revolutionizing business technologies. Microsoft Nigeria will employ 20,000. Others will be coached on data and artificial intelligence, coding, applications and web development. while some number of youths will get expertise on Microsoft Cloud and technology.
Start training immediately, and most importantly, this month of October.
It is an agreement guaranteed to drive bottom-line business value, accelerate technological innovation, and create more jobs. By this, Nigerian is settled to be positioned in meeting the digital technological skills gap already predicted for 2030.
Back home, it's difficult times for indigents and residents of Obunaga and Okolobiri in the Gbari axis of Bayelsa State as rising flood overtakes major access roads leading to their communities. The flood has largely disrupted socio-economic activities within affected areas and rendered many homeless. Doris Akumoye has the situation report.
Obuna is one of the community that houses the LNG and the gas turbine, which attracts more people to the area. The increased water level has affected movement of people and vehicles alike.
The situation is terrible. People are suffering. You see family of 20, 10, 15 parking out, carrying loads here and there.
The people have no option but to resort to the services of local ferrymen and women to move in and out of the area as only heavy-duty vehicles can access the road. This community leads people who work here to the Niger Delta University Teaching Hospital. Right now, the information we gathered is that the hospital has been shut down and patients relocated to the Federal Medical Center where they are presently assessing medical care due to the level of the flood.
Now, nobody in the hospital because of the flood. Nobody. Because of the flood. Because everywhere, water is covering everywhere. So no way.
Very bad, very risky. Like me, I cannot even swim. I'm even afraid of entering the boat.
The situation has rendered many homeless as our camera lens caught up with some families relocating to safe grounds away from home. Effort made to speak with relevant authorities was not successful as at the time of filing in these reports. Inyenegoa Doris Sakomonye, NTA News.
Well, latest reports from official government agencies indicate that more than 500 persons have died from the ravaging floods in 31 states of the Federation. Musa Aliu has the details.
Latest figures released by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development indicate that 1,411,000 people were affected by the recent flood disasters in 31 states. 146,744 hectares of farmlands were destroyed and 89,000 houses damaged. Weather and environmental watchers said the flood was as a result of rainfall and overflowing rivers following the release of water from Lagdo Dam.
Cameroon opened their gate on the 13th of September. They have been spilling water, and by my last communication with them, it will still continue maybe up to 15th, 16th of this month.
We're going to see more floods. And now the rains is concentrating on the north central and the southern states.
In the meantime, Nigeria is set to implement the World Meteorological Organization's recommendation on weather-related disaster alert. The system, known as Hydro SOS, will enable all relevant agencies streamline weather-related information for dissemination to the public. Consequently, the Nigeria Meteorological Agency, Nigeria Hydrological Services, have joined forces with the UK Center for Ecological and Hydrology in the implementation of the initiative.
Nigeria could be one of the first countries, not just in Africa, but actually in the world, for implementing this new Hydro SOS system.
Through this Hydro SOS, we are trying to make sure that NIMET and NISA work closer together so that whatever they take out there to the public is more comprehensive.
Experts are now brainstorming on how effective the SOS will impact on weather-related disaster mitigation in the country. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
Today is World Sight Day, and in Kaduna, attention was given to commercial drivers who benefited from a free eye screening exercise organized by the National Eye Center. Suleiman Rigachikun reports that the bulk of beneficiaries are members of the National Union of Road Transport Workers from the Mandu Garage Unit.
They are in the same business of transporting goods and services, but distinctively variant in size. 67-year-old Abdulaziz Mohammed is a driver that traversed the nooks and crannies of the country and abroad for more than 40 years, but cannot drive a kilometer now due to vision impairment. Like his colleagues, the free eye screening and treatment by the National Eye Center is a restoration of hope to return to business.
I can't drive even for 10 seconds, talk more of a kilometer, but I am hopeful I will regain my sight.
It has helped me a lot by knowing my status now, and even though I don't have any eye problem, except when it comes to reading. Yes.
The target this year is to screen more than 5 million people of various sight ailments. To mark the day, National Eye Center is at the Mandomoto Park, Kaduna, to provide free services to about 300 drivers flying the Nigeria routes on daily basis.
If the people who are driving have good vision, it means the rest of us are safe. If the people who are driving do not see well, then they endanger themselves and every other person. Even the person just standing or living whose house is close to the roadside is at risk of somebody who is driving a car and cannot see.
World Sight Day is celebrated 13th October every year to create awareness on various eye-related diseases, diagnose and treat them. Sulema Rigachikun, NTA News.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Ghali Baba, is promising to do more in the fight against all forms of crime and the protection of lives and property to justify the national honor recently bestowed on him by President Muhammadu Buhari. Francis Form reports that 2 retired IGPs were also among the 447 Nigerians bestowed with national honors.
About 198 projects executed by the police under Usman Al-Ghali Baba's leadership, including the remodeling of the recently unveiled divisional police stations, barracks, training and retraining, promotion and the enhanced welfare package for police personnel. These and many other achievements earned IGP Usman Al-Ghali Baba the CFR Award.
We recommended a lot of promotions which has never taken place. At a go, we had 40 deputy commissioners of police promoted to commissioners. We as management will try to do our best to see that decisions we take here are based on merit, are based on productivity, are based on those we feel that can deliver.
IGP Al-Ghali Baba dedicates the award to officers and men of the force, reminding them on the critical role of teamwork in achieving success. The IGP assures that the condition of service will continue to improve under his leadership. Francis from NTA News.
In the meantime, the International Certification for Digital Literacy Organization is seeking to work with the Nigeria Police Force towards enhancing the capacity of officers and men in information and communication technology as part of measures to tackle new trends in crime and criminality in the country. Here again is Francis Form.
The International Certification for Digital Literacy Organization is committed to developing, promoting and delivering quality certification programs to increase manpower proficiency. Now, a delegation from the organization is at the Louis Edet House for a partnership to improve the capacity of police personnel in the use of ICT.
What we witness now is cyber crimes and the rest of it. We need new learning to be able to understand and to combat that. And to provide that is a digital learning that's very important.
My visit here really is just to underline our support of an initiative with you and offer our hand of partnership to help you implement ICL successfully.
They recommend that new recruits into the force should be abreast with digital skills and technical know-how. The meeting is also an opportunity to applaud the IGP for transforming the force.
Under the IG, we have witnessed where the rule of law is being enforced. Irrespective of individual or government agencies, the IG insists that the rule of law be followed.
So building digital skills is key.
And for the IGP, Usman Alkali Baba, building a digital skills personnel is key, and the force will grab its hands of partnership with ICDL towards enhancing the ICT knowledge of police personnel.
A lot of aids that encourage investigation are all tied to knowledge, digital knowledge or ICT knowledge. ICT has been part of us. Maybe we'll get more from you.
ICDL certification is available in over 100 countries and more than 20,000 test centers, delivering over 70 million ICDL certification tests. Francis from NTA News.
Benue State government has beefed up security with the inauguration of a second batch of more than 1,000 personnel of community volunteer guards. Governor Samuel Otom, who performed the ceremony, says safety of lives and property of the citizenry is sacrosanct. Charles Abba reports.
A batch A of the Benue State Community Volunteer Guards, numbering 500, were inaugurated here at the IBB Square, Makudi, where there is the arcade of the unknown soldier. The over 1,000 of the batch B of the guards have been inducted by Governor Samuel Otom. Prior to the inauguration, the operatives of the security outfit underwent a 3-week rigorous training. Governor Samuel Otom assured that the additional over 100,000 volunteer guards is an advanced step in engaging 10,000 personnel of the security outfit to effectively police the entire state to ensure a stable and peaceful society. He urged the operatives to work harmoniously with the conventional security agencies. The paramount ruler of the Tiv Nation, His Royal Majesty Professor James Ayase, and that of the Idoma Nation, His Royal Majesty Eliku John Odobo, pledged to do the needful in strengthening the initiative.
To the community guys, I want to caution that you operate according to laid down laws.
Special advisor to the governor on media and publicity, Teve Akase, described the efforts of the governor in securing the state as a monumental feat.
The government is not paying them, so to speak. They have agreed to be on allowances because they have taken security as a matter of priority. They want their communities to be safe by providing intelligence to the conventional security agencies like the police, the DSS, civil defense, and the military.
A simulation of response to emergency is being displayed by the guards. Charles Abba, NTA News.
And the deployment of digital infrastructure in the management of road traffic and other critical processes of securing lives along Nigerian highways by the Federal Road Safety Corps is attracting the increased buy-in of the private sector. The latest is coming from the Aigimokwede Foundation. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
Formal and informal sectors are fast meeting up with the superhighway requirement in the modern era of communication technology in operationalizing their mandate, and the Federal Road Safety Corps is driving an elaborate process that enhances professionalism and improves on operations of the Corps. This is now attracting interventions from the civil society, with AIG Mokwede making the latest move.
I was so impressed with the way that you use digital technology, provide funding, we provide strategic support for reform initiatives which we feel will have the biggest impact on public service delivery.
We can gain a lot
No knowledge is wasted. So we are available for the capacity building in whatever area it will assist us, I believe, in our processes.
The collaboration is now opening a new vista for greater expectations on FRSC from the public ahead of its determination of achieving zero auto crash. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Time now to go over to Hingino, the Lagos Center, for more reports. Hingino.
A book on Nigeria's broadcasting history and the effective management of public service has been launched in Lagos. Annie Daniels reports that it is authored by the first Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Engineer Vincent Ifeanyichukwu Maduka.
Vincent Ifeanyichukwu Maduka's journey into the broadcast industry began in 1961 as a broadcast engineer in the old Western Nigeria Broadcasting Corporation, WNTV, WNBS, in Ibadan. He occupied several other positions in different organizations. He was appointed the first Director General of the NTA in 1977. His wealth of knowledge and ability to impact as many as came in contact with him earned him great accolades.
Many of us who have come through the NTA and see the NTA as one family that we belong to, that was made possible by the seeds of compassion.
Coming from the background of engineering, he gave NTA the best of technical capabilities that were available.
If he talks to you about making a program, you'll be amazed.
Till yesterday, Engineer will come and he receives error on the screen and sends to the radio. If he gives you a phone call, you don't answer the call, he will send you a text.
His 417-page book titled Real Life, My Years Managing Public Service Television is a masterpiece of Nigeria's broadcasting history, bold and transparent public leadership.
The language of writing, common man's language that anybody can read it.
Different people are going to come at you, but you must be what you are. And what you are is that even when he doesn't like you, say, I don't like that woman, but I give it to her. She knows what she's doing.
There was no alternative. I have to support him all the way. And it was tough.
Speaker after speaker all agreed that Vincent Maduka was instrumental to their competence and success in their chosen careers, describing the book as a must-read for everyone. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Talking tax matters now, there is a shift in the strategy adopted in the collection of tax from defaulters in Lagos as the Federal Inland Revenue Service is embracing persuasion in lieu of punitive measures, while also engaging on periodic visitation to encourage those paying promptly. Michael Olale reports that the agency also sensitized the public on the benefits of the Tax Pro Max platform, a new online tax administration launched last year.
This is the Micro and Small Tax Office of the Federal Inland Revenue Service on Victoria Island, Lagos. And by its scope of operations, there are 926 companies under its tax payment umbrella. The positive for the FIRS is that compliance with the payment of tax is high based on the level of awareness and sensitization of its customers here. But as required by the law, the second Thursday of every month is Tax Thursday, in which the agency goes out to thank those paying, remind the photos, and encourage persistence.
They don't normally owe much, unless it's from audit exercise. And that audit exercise now is followed by my debt profiling unit.
To some of the companies, the Tax Thursday is unique and presents a platform for the FIRS to collect tax while sustaining cordial relationship with payers.
Seeing them for the first time in a period of 5 years, coming to commend and to applaud those paying tax promptly, that's a good one.
The FIRS believes incorporating new companies into the tax net has been simplified with the introduction of the Tax Pro Max, which makes it mandatory for them to file their returns. The benefits of the platform dominated sensitization of the Micro and Small Tax Office of the agency in Ikeja, As the controller said, feedbacks from the payers are impressive, with a promise to continue deepening sensitization.
We went ahead to encourage them to say that tax formats is an administration solution that can be used to register for tax, pay your taxes, file your returns.
The use of the new platform we've introduced, the tax platform, they are very happy with it.
So we are just hoping that you people would help us beg the government to also give us tax credits directly or indirectly.
Even in the face of sensitization, the FIRS said it is facing the problem of companies providing wrong addresses, but relying on third-party information to solve the challenge. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
More reports on tax Thursday from other zones still ahead. Let's take a break here. But before then, we would want to remind you to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates.
On behalf of the good people of Gombe State, His Excellency Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya Danmajan Gombe heartily welcomes the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, SAN GCON, to the Jewel in the Savannah. The Vice President, during his working visit, will serve as a special guest of honor at the close of the ongoing First Gombe State Investment Summit, tagged Go Invest 2022. The summit, with the theme Industrialization, the Pathway to Innovation, Transformation and Development of Gombe State, aims to attract new investment leads, facilitate high-level business networking with potential investment in agriculture, hospitality, renewable energy, among others. Truly, new dawn for the enterprising people of Gombe State is here, bringing to reality the potential of the jewel in the savannah. Gombe means business.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be a patient? If you must worry, don't worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like you.
How did I do?
You did great. A couple of years ago is when his acting began.
Think you can play?
Yes. I take him to auditions and give him Twister, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor. You got the role! Give your kids Twister to support their big dream. Twister, power your dream.
You're always running around. Keeping up with you needs a comforting touch from Huggies with the right stretch for how much you move. Huggies pants comfortably fit baby's tummy. Their 360-degree comfort fit waistband makes them easy to open and pull off and on. So baby can keep on exploring and you keep doing great, Mom.
Now in a new look pack.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, welcomes President and heads of government, the UNESCO Director General, Ms. Audrey Azoula, and other UN officials, foreign ministers, ambassadors, international dignitaries, and members of the Federal Executive Council to the UNESCO Global Media and Information Literacy Week 2022 with the theme, Nurturing Trust, a Media and Information Literacy Imperative. Date, 24th to 31st October 2022. Opening session, 24th October 2022 at the Banquet Hall, Presidential Villa, Abuja. Time, 3 p.m. The other sessions of the Global Media and Information Literacy Week 2022 will take place at the Transco Hilton Hotel. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jafia, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer.
Right, we're back in Abuja, and as you already heard, there's more on tax. Amid dwindling revenue resources, the Federal Inland Revenue Service is affirming commitment to increasing citizens' tax awareness to improve the current compliance level. It has designated the second Thursday of every month as Tax Thursday to educate, sensitize, and enlighten taxpayers on issues around tax. Nneka Oko covered this month's Tax Thursday and now reports.
It's the second Thursday of October, and staff of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, are all set for the Tax Thursday.
Tax Thursday is a program approved by management of Federal Inland Revenue Service. The purpose is to educate, sensitize, and also to inform taxpayers of the need for them to file their returns promptly.
With the coming on board of Muhammad Nami, there was a renewed focus on customer-centric, that is, to focus on the taxpayer, whom we now call customers. And why do we call them customer? Because the whole essence of what we do is to provide service to them so that they will be able to meet their tax obligation seamlessly.
In a carnival-like procession, the train led by top officials of the service moves around the central area, making brief stopovers at some business hubs to engage with the tax public. Consistent taxpayers amongst the business people are also rewarded for their compliance as a ploy to motivate others.
We appreciate it, and we look forward to having a more cordial relationship with FIRS.
Taxes the world over are a complicated issue, and quite often some people look for loopholes within the system to evade the responsibility. Tax Controller of FIRS, Garobayiro, says the service has adopted several measures to change the negative attitudes of Nigerians towards tax compliance.
During the events of Tax Thursday, we normally visit the taxpayers. We try to appreciate them, we interface with them if there are some challenges they have while paying their taxes. We discuss and see how we can help them out.
The Tax Thursday holds concurrently in other FIRS tax offices nationwide. In Abuja, Nneka Oko, NTA News.
And Tax Thursday was also held in Kanu. Here's Yahanasu Hassan with that report.
Year's payment of tax dues by companies and other enterprises has been a difficult task to both parties. To reduce such hardship taxpayers face, the Federal Inland Revenue Service introduced a Tax Thursday, which aims to sensitize payers on their obligations and how to discharge their tax obligations at ease from their comfort zones.
Expect higher returns from you so that Nigerians can all one day say thank you. Thank you.
Tax Pro Max, extension of the payment of value-added tax and company income tax are some of the new strategies.
It has been so smooth, it has been easy, it is customer-friendly. Unlike other platforms we've been using where taxpayers find it difficult to even use, things are better with the taxpayer.
Convinced by the promise of the new deal, some taxpayers expressed appreciation and pledged to reciprocate through prompt compliance.
What
we eat from this land, somehow we must repay to this land.
We had a pleasant discussion and he enlightened us about the tax drawbacks, and he also encouraged us to communicate with them in case there's any challenges.
Telecom development, it is a relief. Now, between this office and the office where we file our returns, is a journey of about maybe 20-30 kilometers. And most of the time you go through traffic jams and what have you. But now from my office here, I can sit down, do what I need to do in terms of filing my returns, and then in 5-10 minutes I'm through.
Tax Thursday, according to the Federal Inland Revenue Service, will be a monthly schedule with second Thursday of every month as the day. In Kanu, Yahanasa Hassan, NTA.
Now business news with Musa. Musa.
Thank you, Cyril. International Monetary Fund IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva says economies experiencing multiple shocks require stable hands by policymakers, urging them to act with sense of urgency to bring inflation down, minimize policy missteps, and act now to put in place responsible fiscal policy as well as prioritize protecting the vulnerable. The IMF boss said this at a press briefing on the sidelines of the IMF World Bank annual meetings in Washington, D.C.
With fiscal buffers exhausted because of the pandemic, levels of debt very high. And so the obvious conclusion is that policy measures need to be well targeted and they need to be temporary. Steer away from across-the-board fiscal support that is neither effective nor affordable. If we are to help people and fight inflation, we must ensure that fiscal and monetary policy go hand in hand.
Now to capital market, the equities market closed Thursday's trading session in negative territory. The all-share index shed 0.02% at 47,524 basis points. A total turnover of 86.5 million units of securities valued at 2.091 billion naira were traded in 3,264 deals. Equity capitalization fell to 25.8 trillion naira. That's business news. The news continues after the break.
1871, Nigeria's foremost human capital development institution, the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, has been at the forefront of equipping Nigerians with skills for national growth. Today's ITF has repositioned and refocused its programs, forging new partnerships locally and internationally to effectively deliver on its mandate. With 37 area offices and 5 industrial skills training centers across the country, ITF is pushing to reduce unemployment by providing relevant technical and vocational skills for employability and entrepreneurship in diverse trades and crafts. Whether you're a public or private organization seeking to improve the skills of your personnel or an individual looking to acquire skills that will increase your chances of employment or even to help start your own business, today's ITF has a program for you. Speak to us today. Contact our area offices nationwide or visit our website www.itf.gov.ng. ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
Good morning, Nigeria. Year after year, they have been informed, educated, and entertained us when you needed information, knowledge, or an escape.
Generation to generation, the Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
And now, this service will finally be recognized. This November, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Broadcasting Awards, an award ceremony set to reward hard work and unflinching excellence in the broadcast media. They have served and are still serving. It's time to say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON. For more details, log on to www.bon.org. tnbawards.ng and follow our social media handles at TNB Awards.
Are you an established brand in Africa? Are you into non-oil export trade? OYITC, in partnership with NTA TVE, Afro Agric LLC, CYMS, FACAN, and MFM-ITI presents OYITC October 2022 International Trade Show. Theme: Crossing International Frontier through Non-Oil Export Trade. Venue: Marriott Hotel West Street, 2900 Briar Park,